This is the Spartan Body Mind podcast. My name is Seth Winterhalter, your host, and I'm here to help you become Spartan fit. If you're a male over 40 years old, let me just encourage you, it is not over yet. It doesn't matter how overweight you are, how out of shape you are, how tired and exhausted you are. You can be living a better life. And really, this is for all people, but I'm over 40 years old and I'm a male, and I know because I was 100 pounds overweight. I was a leader in my organization. I was a hard worker, and I still was not thriving. And just because you have success in one area of life doesn't mean that the totality of your life is success, and doesn't mean actually your success is as good as it could be. And I experienced that. I lost 100 pounds of weight. I got my life into shape physically, mentally, emotionally. And now, man, life is just so much better in every facet because my health is dialed in, because I finally prioritized my health. And so I want to encourage you, if that's you, if your life maybe has some wins, has some success, but your health mentally, physically, emotionally is not it's not thriving, it's not where it could be, I want to encourage you to dial that in. And let me help you. Set up a time, go to SethWinterhalter.com, schedule a time to chat with me, go to thespartanprogram.com and see what it means to become Spartan fit. Love to help you. Join the free Facebook group, Spartan Body Mind, and be a part of a community of people trying to keep each other accountable to living a healthy, vibrant life. Today, this topic really kind of goes into this. If you ask some of the people that I have influenced and led over the past 20 years, they would say I have a word. I have a word that's often on the tip of my tongue. And not just a word, even a statement. The word is trajectory. And the statement is this: your trajectory determines your legacy. Your trajectory determines your legacy. What does that mean? It means where you are headed determines what you leave behind. Where you are headed. It's not actually the destination, because no one knows if you'll actually reach the destination. We don't know how many hours we have in this life. No, we don't know how many days. We don't know which obstacles might derail us or change our course. So it's not actually the destination that determines your legacy. It's your trajectory. Where are you going, and how are you living life in order to get there? It's really more about the day-to-day how. What are the values? What are the motivators that drive you? That is the legacy you leave behind. This is what I call trajectory thinking. Now, what do I want to talk about specifically today? I want to talk about the long line versus the blip. When you hear something like your trajectory determines your legacy, when you hear especially the word legacy, you think long term. You think the totality, right, of your life that you leave behind. But here's the issue. Most people, man, they could if you put them on the spot and said, tell me, when you one day pass, let's say you pass at age 90, talk to me, spend the next couple minutes just sharing what you would hope to leave behind to your grandchildren or great-grandchildren. What legacy, what things would you love for them to hear about you? And you would probably share about, well, I hope they would know that I was a loving person, that I was kind, I was generous, and I gave my life to things that mattered, and I worked hard, and you could probably articulate the things that you would want to be known for. But here's the thing. Oftentimes in our day-to-day life, in our week-to-week life, we're not thinking about the long line. In fact, what influences our decisions, more likely than not, does not have to do with the long line. It has to do with what I call the blip on the radar. And the problem with the blip is that we have a tendency to focus more on the negative blips than the positives. Have you ever heard the statement? I think it goes something like this: that one compliment, you need one compliment to overcome 7 critiques. That, right? 7 negative critiques. Or no, I said that wrong. It's you need 7 compliments to overwhelm one negative critique. So someone can critique you, give you negative feedback once, and it will take 7 positives to get that thing out of your head, to make you believe in the one positive. It takes more energy to smile than it does to frown. Like we have a tendency, or we have not even a tendency, we have just a natural inclination to think the worst, to be overwhelmed, or to be influenced by the negative instead of the positive. The long line versus the blip. The problem with the blip is that if we have a tendency to think negative, that even if we have some positive blips in our life, like think about this, how many in a week, let's say you ate, so there's 7 days, let's say you have 3 meals a day, 21 meals. Let's say you ate clean for 19 of them, 18 of them. That's a lot of meals, but let's say you cheated 3 times. 3 times in that week, you had Five Guys. You had the burger, you had the fries. You would feel like that week was a total failure. Man, I cheated 3 times this week. Okay. But you ate clean 18 times. Only meals 19, 20, and 21 were bad. You had a lot of wins. Yeah, but I suck. Like, why do I even eat clean anymore? I mean, I cheated 3 times. Right? Do you see how? Now, I'm not saying that 3 cheats is a win. I'm saying that that's probably going to have some effect on an overall diet because those meals usually are so huge in calorie content. But you can have one day, you can mess up one day in your diet. You could mess up a few times, a few meals in a week in your diet, and all of a sudden you're like, you give up on your diet. You give up because the blip overwhelmed the long line. The blip, the cheat meal, the missed workout, the week off from vacation, all of a sudden the blip makes you think, oh, I'm a failure. Oh, this is so hard. I can't keep it up. Oh, I failed, and I'm just going to keep failing. So, see, here's the truth. A cheat meal, a missed workout, a week off, those don't derail you. They only derail you if you make those moments into a habitual habit. See, that's the problem. If you say, oh, well, I cheated, I'm just going to always cheat. Okay, yeah, you're creating a habit. Well, I'm just going to always eat poorly. So now I'm going to always eat poorly. And now I'm going to become fat and overweight and out of shape. You talked yourself in to believing that your blip is now the long line. But the truth is, this is the reality. And anyone who has lost significant weight knows it takes time. And that time compounds, though. And you know, it's so funny. We're like, oh, it's going to take so long. And yet, isn't the thing we say all the time is, man, it just flew by. This year flew by. Oh, it's already, I can't believe it's already almost 2023. Like, where have the last 5 years gone? Just boom, 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 faster and faster. And so it's interesting how on one hand we look and go, oh, it's going to take so long to lose weight. And yet on the other hand, we're like, the years keep flying by. Like, why don't you just do it? Why don't you think about the long line, right? Your trajectory determines your legacy. So if you would think about the long line, the graph, that it doesn't just go up continually in a straight line. That's not real life. Real life is I'm going to do it. I'm going to eat clean, and I'm going to get to the gym, and I'm going to prioritize my sleep, right? I'm going to become a healthy physical person. And guess what? Oh, man, this happened, and I didn't get good sleep last night. Okay, it's just a little, but man, I'm back in my rhythms. I'm going up. Oh, man, I missed a couple days. I got sick and couldn't go to the gym. It's okay. Dips. I mean, that's a real line, right? Everything that cascades upward in growth and in achievement is going to have blips that move down. Nothing just continually goes up, nothing of health. Usually anything that just continually goes straight up is bound for a real big crash because it's built off of something false. Something there is not healthy, is not normal, it has too much weirdness, random luck or something in it that's not sustainable. Again, that's the difference with the coaching that I do is I'm trying to teach you how to be sustainable. Yes, we may, in to get the results that you want in the timeline that you want, we may need to really buckle down and get after it for a few weeks, even a few months. But we also know that that's not sustainable. That's not reality for a healthy, normal life. And what we want to do is get you to a place that then where we can do sustainable habits. We can teach you what it means to eat in a healthy way in a week where, yes, you have 16 to 18 really clean meals that are really firing and feeling your current health and your goals, but also be able to go enjoy family night, enjoy that date night, enjoy that social encounter where you're not even thinking, oh, well, I can only eat the protein here. If you want to, or you can eat whatever you want. You can eat 7 pieces of cheesecake if you want. Like, why not? Like, you only live once. Like, why this? Like, yes, you live once. So live healthy and thriving. But don't be a slave to then have to always, every day, eat on point exactly. Unless you're going to be in, a bodybuilding contest in 6 weeks. You're not going to have cheesecake during the 6 weeks because you're going to sabotage your goals. But after the 6 weeks, yeah, we're going to go back to normal, right? I'm talking to a client now who's trying to get into shape for her wedding. Get into shape. And it's okay. Well, you're going to have a specific, right? There's going to be a time. There's going to be some weeks ahead of that dress fitting, and then ahead of that wedding date where we're going to have to get after it. We're going to get after it. We're going to get it on. But then there's months in between where we got to live normal. We got to live normal. We got to be mindful because we don't want to sabotage ourselves and then really have to get crazy those final few weeks before the wedding. But we want to live a balanced life so that we're just not always in this tension, always in this stress of, I have to eat super clean all the time. No, we have to eat intentionally and purposefully. And part of the purpose is to enjoy social encounters. And part of the purpose is to fuel ourselves so that we operate at peak performance. We can do both of those. A cheat meal, a missed workout, a week off, those are blips. Don't get so overwhelmed by the blip that you turn that into the long line. Don't dwell on the blip. Zoom out and go, you know what? It was one meal. And I shouldn't feel guilty about that. I should have enjoyed that. And then maybe that will help you that a cheat meal, again, a cheat meal, I don't like that term, but a meal that you decide to not weigh things or think about macros, just to enjoy the moment, then all of a sudden you train yourself that those meals should be intentional. You shouldn't be having those meals when you come home from a stress day and you're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bury my face into a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. That doesn't sound healthy. A, physically, but also mentally. Man, hard days call for better things. You know what would be better than a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken? Maybe having a friend talk to. Maybe just resetting your mind by reading a book. Maybe watching a show and having some popcorn that's less health consequences than a bucket of fried chicken. Like, I get it. Days are hard. But that doesn't mean that we want to use food then as an outlet. That's telling us of some health things in our mind that we got to work out. So, enjoy cheat meals. Have a reason for missing the workout. Not, I just don't feel like it. No. So, you hear me here? Like, your trajectory determines your legacy. And I believe your trajectory is higher, is upward, is inspiring. But the reason you're not living that intentionality is because you're too focused on these little blips that you have. And you're not assessing the blips to say, hey, is that a healthy blip? Like me going out on a date night, not counting calories and eating whatever I want. Me going over to that family potluck and barbecue, going over to my friend's house and just enjoying life. Like those are good things. Those are not downward things. Those are a part of the upward momentum of my life. That's part of the legacy. The legacy I leave behind isn't just perfection in clean meals. It's a life well lived in every aspect and area, socially, with deep friendships over shared meals. It's missed workouts because I went to my kid's event. Right? It's a week off of workouts and caring about food because I went on vacation with my spouse. Those are healthy things that are a part of the legacy you leave behind. Also part of the legacy you leave behind is a life well lived because you were healthy, because you were in shape physically, mentally, and emotionally. So, remember the long line versus the blip. Don't be overwhelmed by the blips, even when they're bad things, even when you cheated because you came home from a day stressed out and buried your face in a gallon of ice cream. It's okay. Learn from it, get back on the horse, and get after it tomorrow. Don't make it a habit. Don't make it a habit because your trajectory determines your legacy. Again, if you can help, hit us up, SethWinterhalter.com. Schedule an assessment call. Join us at the Spartan Body and Mind on Facebook. Join the group, and let's get after it together. Until next time.